Hi, YouTube queens. Welcome back to She Speaks Bravo. It's Emily, here to give you a Salt Lake City episode 8 recap. And if you're new here, I recap Bravo TV and true crime regularly. So subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss a video. And if you're already subscribed, love you. Mean it. My name is Emily, and I have been watching Bravo TV as a form of self-care for over a decade. Needless to say, I'm a complete mess. Subscribe and follow along for painfully insightful recaps about Bravo, true crime, and other great TV. Hit that bell. Hey guys, I can't stop. When I go to say hi, the last 2 days, I keep doing it in Lisa Barlow's voice for some reason. She's been all over social media. Bravo's been posting her stuff and just keeps popping up on my algorithm. Hey, I can't. She's in my head. So she's having an amazing season, right? Bravo loves her. Bravo, did you see the post that the Prima Donald, if you're not following him, he doesn't have a lot of followers, which is crazy because he's in with them. He works at Bravo. He hosted a bunch of panels at BravoCon, but he posts tons of content with them. And he did, if you were fans of House of the Dragon, you saw the viral, it was TikToks were made of it, between Emma Darcy and Olivia. Wait, am I saying her name right? The one who played Alicent, where the question was, what's your favorite drink? And it goes back and forth. A Negroni with Prosecco. Oh, stunning, that one. But the Prima Donald mixed it with Lisa Barlow saying, a Vita tequila cocktail or a Vita cocktail. And then they also had her sing, Bravo TV had her sing Away in a Manger, which she did to the camera, legitimately saying it, I think, again, which makes her such a great housewife. She doesn't understand what we're laughing at. She thinks that she's delivered a great performance, but she's just happy we're laughing. She legitimately meant when she walked out, did you guys hear my audition? Did you love it? She's like, right? Thank you. She'll, and actually, even if you tried to explain it to her, why she's funny, she'd be like, yeah, right? She would still not get it. And you don't want her to. You never want someone like that to figure it out. That's what makes them so funny. Let's just jump right into this because it's just okay. Because I looked at my notes and it says Lisa wants them to get into weekly scripture study. And I'm just remembering the way Jack was handling that conversation. He was like, oh, okay, we're doing this. Hi, by the way. I just started talking. Hi. Well, hi guys. Hey. This is mainly for the pod because I already did my YouTube intro. I do that separate because if you're not watching on YouTube, guys, you're missing out. By the way, podcast listeners, I know I ask for a lot. I do. I ask for a lot. I ask for reviews all the time. But if you wouldn't mind, could you just go to my YouTube channel and subscribe? I'm kind of stagnant on subscribers. I think I pissed off the algorithm. The algorithms hate me for some reason the last few weeks. And as much as we hate it, if you watched Barry on HBO, you would know that the algorithms determine everything these days. And so the algorithms don't like me very much. And I have not gained a new subscriber in 5 days. So if you could just, even if you don't plan on watching on YouTube, just go over there and hit subscribe. She Speaks Bravo. You don't have to, though. I already asked too much of you, and your listening is plenty. Honestly, I just love that you listen. I really do. Anyway, okay, we're moving on. Hi, She Speaks Bravo. Hey, thank you guys. Love you, mean it. And now we're doing the episode. Okay. But anyway, so Lisa's like, you guys, I really want to get back into that. This is my, but she goes, like, I didn't know you could be like a semi-Mormon. So I'm very shocked that like she's able to have been like calling herself a Mormon and not going to church every Sunday or being devout. Like, I didn't know you were allowed to even like be that. Since Heather and Whitney make it seem like you were in all the way or you were not, But she's like, I just haven't really been good about taking the kids. And like, this is my way of like acknowledging like I messed up. John is really good at getting Henry, or Jack rather, out of these sorts of moments, whether it's just like a filming thing that Jack is like, I'm not down for this or what. So John's like, it's also a really great form of prayer, meditation, where you just sit there quietly, like Jack's doing right now. And Jack was blatantly closing his eyes as Lisa was talking. Listen, cameras are a lot, so I don't want to always determine a dynamic based on when they're filming a show, but this Jack kid is like, I'm not here for this shit with Lisa. He has given her the business multiple times. So, but the next scene is wonderful. I was like, go Whitney, instead of just making fun of them all the time, she takes Whitney and Lisa. She takes Jen and Lisa skiing. She like to help them out. She goes, we live in Utah where the snow is amazing. No more of this bunny hill, I can't ski crap. Okay. We're going to try. And it was actually a nice activity for once with these snowy days, because it is a little bit annoying, not annoying, but like unfair or just typical or sort of cliche when they do a ski event on any Bravo show where there's the few who are great and the few who are gonna just, pizza, French fry down the hill. And so it was nice that Whitney was like, no, I'll be a cast member and also teach, as opposed to like, I'll be a cast member and go off here and then some instructor will teach those people. So it kept the dynamic among the cast, so like Whitney was a cast member teaching, so we didn't have to like break away. We got everybody interacting the whole time, it was nice. But wait, hold on. Jen arrives in braids and Lisa goes, of course you did that. What did that mean? I don't actually know what she meant by that, but it was funny. So they're going to the top of the mountain, and let me just explain something about my fear of heights. The ski lift alone is too much for me. So I would absolutely be the wuss. As much as Whitney's trying to teach them that it's no big deal, and I'm supposed to have that vibe too and be kind of thinking that Jen and Lisa are the ridiculous ones, I wouldn't even be able to get on this ski lift. Even just the shots, like the camera shots of it, were giving me vertigo. But okay, we all know my obsession with the way Whitney talks. She can't say like her eyes or like her feel, or she struggles. She inverts them. So she goes, I am determined to teach them on the big girl hill. So even when there's an I involved, like when she says feel, she says fell. And then when she says big, she said big. It's vexing. So they start skiing and you hear Lisa go, I just want to cut anybody off. She's going to cut someone off. It's okay. I hate this, guys, but Jen was funny. She starts skiing. She's like, my ski skills have gotten a lot better. I attribute that to hard work, determination, and taking my anti-anxiety pills. That's the winning combination. I wish she hadn't criminaled. I really do. I wish she hadn't been a seasoned criminal, like a years and like a long-term criminal, because she's so damn good at TV. Because then she tumbles backwards over the mountain, which was comedy, like slapstick comedy. Damn it, Jen. God, I'm just going to keep saying that over and over. So they're done with that. Then they discuss who made the choir. You guys, this is so fucking hilarious. They're talking about who made the choir. And they're like, I did too. We all made the choir. And they cut to Heather telling them who made the choir. Heather tells Lisa, you were one of the best singers. I believe it. Whitney's like, okay, I was surprised because the last time I saw her, she physically escorted me from her house. And they show it again. Like, she literally took Whitney's wrist and moved it out of the way and, was like, go, get out. And obviously Jen's a little surprised to hear what the context of the fight was, because she's like, I was defending Lisa for the tweet because she was trying to tell the truth about Heather's father's death and everything. And Jen's like, okay, I'm a little surprised that Whitney did defend Lisa, but she does say, like, this behavior is out of character for Heather. Something is going on. Lisa, all of her stuff is a house of cards built on lies, which is why she doesn't want us to know what's going on, because she doesn't want us to talk, because it's all, which is, we're starting to see this unravel. You guys, okay, I'm gonna plug the hell out of this episode I did with Jamie Stein. He's releasing it. So today is November 17th, a Thursday. So he may be releasing it as of today. So when you get this, it may already be out. Because he had me on his podcast to discuss Heather Gay, because he has never been fooled by her. I was fooled all of season 1. But then the reunion for season 1 happened, and I was like, wait a minute. And so last season, she was still a fan favorite, but I got a lot of heat because I would post against Heather, pro Lisa Barlow, and people would be like, oh my God, no, you're all wrong. And so he knew that I had my opinions of Heather, so he had me on to go. If you don't know who Jamie Stein is, he's an empath. He is an intuitive. He's amazing. Go check out his content. I will link his Instagram and his podcast in the episode descriptions, because he's worth checking out. But we talked for like over 2 hours about Heather. Okay. And one of my toxic trait is I relish in an I knew it moment. It's unhealthy. I know it, but I knew it. Okay. So we didn't expect Heather's downfall to kind of start this quickly. We just knew it was coming because we've been seeing the signs. And so Lisa's saying that that's built on a house of cards. What, you know what I mean? We said it. So I'm gonna be pulling a lot of. We said this already. Okay, we said this on that episode. So I may go back in and add once I get this episode up. If he doesn't have that episode done yet, I may go back in and add it in just to make sure that you guys have the episode available, just so that you know we said it. Okay. That's how unhealthy and toxic I am with proving that I said it. This is why I'm alone. Moving on. So now we move on to Jen's issue with Heather, which I'm like, oh shit, we all have issues with Heather here. And talking about the Chris Harrington thing, but more the way Heather handled it, which I think we can all agree we were a bit surprised about, And Whitney says that her biggest thing is that she's chasing Heather. She's always kind of like trying to get Heather to forgive her. I totally know that feeling. And finally, Whitney gives us a big revelation. Whitney says, I'm trying to tell Heather, in the past, when I was being messy or stirring the pot, that's what I was taught because it got me attention. That's why I'm trying to break the pattern. Now, you see, that is the first time I've heard it explained like that from Whitney. And I'm like, oh, was that what you were trying to tell her? Because like we've said it before, we'll say it again. She's not great with the words and the communicating. So this was eye-opening. And I was like, oh, okay. Because so you are acknowledging that you had a habit of stirring the pot and being messy. And that's why suddenly, in general, not just about this one Lisa thing, but in general, you're saying, I don't want to be this person anymore, period. I'm changing my whole ways. And that's what you've been trying to tell Heather. I can't be this person anymore because I've uncovered this huge thing about my life. And I'm breaking out of this pattern. Oh. Well, that is not going to work for Heather. Oh, no. She's not trying to break out of any patterns. She's trying to conceal her innermost truth still. She's trying to maintain this curated image that's perfect for fans. Very relatable. Relatable queen is what she's trying to be. Neutral. Everybody likes me. No one can really say anything. Self-deprecating. Very self-deprecation is a great shield, because if you use it correctly, it can keep people off of you, make it seem like, oh, you already know that. Okay, cool. But all right. Coach's house. He's got this barbecue boys lunch thing, and the company's slogan is bringing the South to your mouth, and Seth really loves that. He comes in, he is stoked. Seth always has the vibe that he is like pumping up like a business seminar. Like he's coming in like, right guys, we are pumped up for this, right? Yeah, right? We meet Ernesto, Dana's husband, and Sean. Well, I think we've already met Sean, Angie K's husband. He's hot. In like a kind of pit bull way. Like a, pit bull, not like the dog, but like Pitbull, the music artist kind of way. Pitbull meets like LL Cool J in like a very early 2000s way. You know what I mean? Like early 2000s hip hop artist with like a gold chain. That's like his energy, which I don't dislike. It works for me very much. But it's like, it's kind of dated. Like his hot is not like so now, but it works for me 100%. And they seem like they're hot together too. So yeah. John arrives and immediately I'm terrified because Seth is there. And right away Seth is like, we got to get some time, me and you. And in John's confessional, John has a tone. Okay. He goes, there's more stuff to talk about than just what Lisa said. I think and he kind of like, the way he moves, he's like, there's a lot of things to straighten out. We've never seen Daddy Barlow have a tone like that. That's for sure. Okay. So the chef puts down I was so hungry when I watched this because I was doing intermittent fasting yesterday. And I was like, give me the mac and cheese. But Coach leads them in a beautiful prayer before they eat. And they edit in Coach saying, no wives on this one, just the guys, no wives. And then they cut to Jen coming in. Hey, the strippers are here. And they were like, oh no, get the fuck out of here. They give us a little bit of awkward silence, and they cut over to Justin saying that he can definitely feel the tension between Seth and John. I don't know if there was actually that much awkward silence, or if they're just really pumping that up. But then they go over to the kitchen island for the chef to give them a demonstration with how to like slap on some meat and really rub it down. And it has like porn music going. which I would say I didn't need, but it was entertaining. They put some effort into it on the production side, on the post-production side. So, okay, fine. If you're going to give me a little bit of fluff to fill the episode, all right, fine. Because then it really was just a way to kind of probably break up the scene. You know, they're like, okay, it was like almost blocking. They're like, and then we'll have them sit down to eat. Then the chef will pull them over here so that it can give an opportunity for Seth to pull John outside, which he does. And they didn't think to throw some chairs down back there. Like they walk out and they're like, oh, it's a little cold. And John goes, yeah, but it's good in the sun. Only to realize that there is no area with sun except for maybe the sliver of sun that's right up against the stairwell. So they're like, it's good in the sun. And then they look around and realize, so we'll stand right here. Okay. And cut to one of the most awkward scenes ever, where I'm team John on this one all the way. So just because if Seth's going to be this petty and do this, then I'm going to be petty and be team John. Okay. Because really none of this matters at the end of the day. This conversation I thought was going to be just them saying, look, this is going down between the women because they're filming a TV show and this is just kind of what they're doing. But instead, Seth is like, so when you see Meredith, you didn't talk to her. I didn't know if you were trying to avoid her. And I'm like, excuse me? I don't think you tried to talk to Lisa, did you? I think she tried to talk to you. Okay, strike one. And John doesn't know what to say. So he's like, no. He looked caught off guard. He was like, no, I'm just kind of in my own world. And then Seth goes, he's like, the way Seth is like staring at him too. It's like, what is your fucking problem? He goes, how would you feel if Meredith called Lisa garbage whore and fuck her whole family? John says, I mean, I don't know. In Arizona, Meredith brought up that Lisa was cheating on me just out of the blue. I don't think anybody can say that they haven't done something that they shouldn't be forgiven for. Seth obviously had no idea that was coming. But so Seth's like, well, is it more constructive to say things to someone's face rather than behind their back? Oh, sir, excuse me, sir, because guess what? Your wife has filmed multiple scenes talking about Lisa behind her back. So watch your mouth. And then John, again, your wife brought up rumors that Lisa cheated on me. I agree with you as far as communicating. I know that there are times that she tried to communicate with Meredith and Meredith was like, I don't have time for this. I love John taking, clearly we heard her tell John, we saw her tell John this on camera. I love him just taking, like, it's such a good husband regurgitation and repeating it as a form of an argument, because Seth is doing basically that for Meredith. And then John goes, I value our friendship, man. And Seth goes, I agree. That's why this is so hard. Which was just like, you could tell it pained him to say anything there. So they go, but they like kind of do that, like, you know, sort of guy like hand thing. Like they didn't know how to proceed. And when they go inside, Coach is like, okay, just one question. Are we better? And it is truly the longest, most uncomfortable pause. And they don't, and they're like, And they're like, and then Coach goes, better than when we started? And they're like, yeah. So then Seth goes, wait, you know, the real question is, how are you doing? And you guys, this is when I was like, oh God, Coach is a scammer. Because he says, I believe that God never makes mistakes. Weird. Very weird thing to say as you're leading off line in this monologue. Because then he goes into how it just felt very rehearsed. He's like, I believe, it's hard because I can't be there for my wife like I want to be. I want to make it all better like a man can. I want to do all of that. I want to say all the things that would make her feel better. And then it looks like he's about to cry. Like he makes a face like he's about to cry. And then Seth leans in and grabs his hand and he holds on to it. But then there are no tears. And he comes out of it like, but this will get me through it. This right here. This right here will get me through it. It was like grandstanding. It was like the sounds you make when you're saying something inspirational, but I don't think he meant what he was saying. So, But then Justin's like, yeah, I parted ways. He has the hardest time saying that he was let go, but he like changes I parted way. Well, I should say that I took part. Nope, that's not it. The company I was with for 7 years is no longer with me. And they're like, oh, it's like a therapy session. Like, thanks, guys. You are not the husbands of Jersey. Remember that. Osea is sponsoring the pod this week, and they did not ask me to do a YouTube video promo, but I'm obsessed with this body oil. It's actually a big TikTok thing already, so you may already know about it, but I'm adding my voice to the movement. This thing's amazing. The Andrea algae body oil. Again, you may already know about it, but I'm adding my voice. They did sponsor the pod. They didn't sponsor the channel. But I just was like, I need to tell everyone I know. It's so good. I use the body butter first just because they sent it to me. And then I put the body oil. But I did just use the body oil yesterday on my legs and it was still amazing. So if you want to use my discount code, I'll leave it in the description. The scene with Meredith and her sister Myra and her niece Lily and her nephew Alex. First of all, why the hell can't Myra, her sister, cut a lemon without needing multiple people to hold it? Okay. That's the first major question I have. Second, Meredith does say that she said, when her father died, they had a very hard time, Myra and her, coming to terms or an agreement on how to handle the passing of their father, but they're good now. And Alex and Lily go take something to, she said, go take this to Unky, please, which was cute. They're going to go see Seth. But I did not realize that this was the nephew that had the problems last season, because then they get into it. He has been to multiple facilities and has battled drug addiction. And this was heartbreaking. So trigger warning, talk of suicide attempts. Meredith says it didn't seem to be getting much better, and last winter he drank a bottle of bleach. And Myra said he's doing much better, but Meredith's like, but is he just saying that, or is he actually talking about it, which is a great follow-up question. But wait, hold on. Just to break up the seriousness of this, they both have such distinct voices, do they not? Clearly this completely runs in the family. Their voices. He's telling his therapist what his triggers are, but now he wants to help others. I had no idea that Meredith, that this is the event Meredith was talking about hosting. I just didn't put it all together. This should not be some filming event. I mean, that's fine if it is, but like, this is not something like, who do I invite to this event? This is like you film it separately. You don't invite the cast. If you do, you invite the one person you're close with. I'm scared. I am now scared. Because then she goes into, well, it's not just Lisa. Whitney had this meltdown in Arizona and has gone on a mission to tell Lisa that we've all been talking about her. And now John had told Seth about it. And then they flash to Seth and Meredith in the car. And how Seth was like, yeah, apparently like John heard that, you said that Lisa's having some affair with this guy. And that you weren't listening to her when she was going, how was I not there for her listening to her for 3 hours a day? and then when apparently you accused her of sleep. I did not accuse that. Whitney did. So she's pissed. And, but then Myra, just being a sister, she's like, you do not deserve that. That is not a friend. They talk so similarly. But then okay, you guys, this choir rehearsal scene is possibly one of the funniest, most hilariously captured Housewives scenes ever. We don't quite get to it yet. We first have to get the Angie K. Jen scene, but just the setting up of it, like, we need more musical theater arts on Housewives. We really do. We've been robbed of we need more of Candy on Atlanta doing like play rehearsals and stuff. Like, God damn it. We need more in the background, just in the background. Like they need to have like fights while rehearsals are going on behind them. So Angie picks up Jen to go to the choir rehearsals, and Jen's like, yeah, I mean, it's awkward between Heather and I, but everyone is just going to this choir rehearsal to support Heather, which is so wild. Everyone has this problem with Heather and they are going to this choir rehearsal to support her. But it's awkward because of the Angie Harrington stuff. And obviously Jen's like, I would fucking tell Angie Harrington, go fuck yourself. That's not fucking okay. Apologize. Okay. That's what I fucking do. All right. That's what I fucking do. But then of course, Angie K, she's like, well, let me just tell you right now what that Dana said. The music changes to like this very intense as she reiterates the story. She's like, yeah, she goes, what was with that Jen bullying Angie? And so they flash to, I think they were like post spin class or something. And Dana being like, yeah, I'm just not cool with that. And no one stands up to her and no one puts her ass in check. And so Jen immediately, the way she's like, oh my God, no, she fucking, Dana, what you're not going to do is label me and go around and bitch, you don't even know me. So, okay, got it. It's on. You just utter Jen's name and she's pissed. So at the choir rehearsal, like, I mean, it's crazy to see this. When Whitney comes in, Heather is like, oh my God, you're here. I didn't know if you would come. Isn't that crazy? And Whitney's like, I am just surprised that I'm getting this greeting. And like, this is so much effort for me because we're singing Mormon hymns. And she watched me like as I was traumatized and breaking free of the church. Like, this is really a sacrifice for me. And so they pull in chairs to like get to know each other. This is so fucking funny. Jamie Stein, by the way, he called this whole thing very Waiting for Guffman. And if you don't know that reference, you are young-ish, younger than I. And if you do know that reference, you're like, yes, very much. Jen, Angie K, and Lisa arrive. And Corey greets everyone. And he's like, I've been in choir since 5th grade. Brilliant. So he gets everyone up. Like, he's like, everyone stand up. And we're going to, whatever. go to the piano, and Heather goes over, like seemingly goes over to Lisa, and Lisa's like, I almost quit. You and I have to talk. And they cut to Heather's confessional. And she goes, oh, I hate her. Wow. Got it. They put that in, they put that in right on purpose. They know what story they're telling. And Heather is like trying to say to her, Lisa, this is bigger than us. This thing is bigger than us. And I'm assuming she's talking about the choir. I'm assuming. I'm not sure. And Lisa's like, yeah, I'm working on a friendship with you. I'm putting in the effort, Heather. And I'm assuming Lisa knows that she's talking about the choir, but she's like, I don't care. I'm talking about this. And so this is happening simultaneously with the choir practice. And so Corey leads them in humming exercises. So he's like, okay, you're going to put your lips together and your teeth apart. You want a lot of space in that mouth. And they start humming. So then Lisa's whispering. She's like, I'm here to support you. That's why I showed up today. And then Corey takes them into ha, 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 like all those. But now they're loud. So then Lisa's talking over them. I know you wanted to throw me out. And Heather's like, I didn't. I don't. I don't want to be in a space of contention and anger. And then it's silence. The singing stops and like Heather turns around. She's like, okay, are we? So then the singing picks back up. So then Heather asks Lisa, she's like, why would you post something as sensitive as the obituary, my father's obituary, and the text messages from the time he was dying between us, if you wanted to not move backwards? And Lisa's like, okay, listen, my character was denigrated because you told a lie and I had to clear my name. And I second guessed myself. I'm like, am I a shitty person? And Heather goes, yes. Lisa's like, no, I wasn't. And Heather's confessional. She's like, hey, you're an empath, right? Let's put the facts aside and focus on the feelings. You guys, you have to listen to the episode I did with Jamie because he did research going into the episode. He went back and watched last reunion and took notes on the dialogue. And Heather contradicts herself so many times in that moment. Meredith was saying that Lisa wasn't there for her when her dad was dying and was giving examples. And Heather jumps in and she goes, I can relate, Meredith, because she texts me 2 days after my dad died. I hope your dad's feeling better. And Andy goes, my God. And she goes, yeah. And that's Lisa goes, that's not true. No, I didn't. And then she goes, no, I know you didn't know. That's why it's not a big deal. And it's like, okay, well then why'd you bring it up? But then she goes, yeah, but so I get it. And so she contradicts herself so many times in the same breath. But obviously it seemed really insensitive. So as much as in the last recap I did, I said, sure, absolutely, Lisa, take ownership for the fact that you shouldn't have maybe posted the obituary. It's a little sensitive. Maybe you could have contacted Heather and been like, girl, I didn't. And like, can we clear this up for me? Because I'm taking a lot of heat. Lisa did try to own up to it, but Heather is so determined to make Lisa look bad. And now she's kind of caught. And now she can't own up to anything, And now she's pulling this, you're an empath, right? She's manipulating. She's totally manipulating words, which is exactly what Jamie was saying. So you have to listen to the episode. Lisa says, Heather, I just, do you like me? It's a yes or no question. Do you like me? And then they cut to commercial, but forget that the commercial happens. Imagine it going like this without the commercial. Lisa goes, do you like me? And then Corey goes, 2, 3, 4. God be with you till we meet. But Heather doesn't answer. Heather goes, is that important to you? That's not an answer, girl. Because the answer's no. But yet you play victim like she's the mean girl to you. Okay? Because Lisa says, if you're saying you're my friend and you don't like me, your actions are showing you don't like me, which doesn't really totally make sense, but we know what she means. And Heather goes, you created a space that you weren't good and you've never owned up to that. which is her way of saying you're the one who made it bad. And now you've never said that you're the one who was mean to me. And what does that mean, Heather? You're the bad guy. I'm not the bad guy. You're the bad guy. What is it? That's not a response. And Lisa, I don't feel like that's true. Heather's yelling this line, which is confusing because the sentiments. Okay, so, if you want to just start ground zero, I want to be your friend. Whoa. Well, that's not how it sounded. I had to write down the dialogue and read the dialogue because the way she said it sounded like she was saying opposite. And then Lisa goes, but you lied. Heather goes, oh my God, are you for real? Lisa goes, stop for a second. Let's talk it out. While this is happening, Angie Harrington pulls Jen aside. And she's like, listen, you were just a casualty in this. And she's sorry. And it's so easy. Jen's like, listen, Coach wants Chris to apologize publicly since he did all this publicly. And Angie's like, absolutely. So that's squashed. Well, for that moment. Back to Lisa and Heather. Lisa tells Heather, look, there were a lot of lies about me in Arizona. But Heather, real quick, she's like, I didn't co-sign those. That was not me. I had nothing to do with that. And Lisa's like, okay, but that's not exactly like what Whitney told me. Whitney has been very consistent in saying that you were all together when you heard these things. Okay. So she goes, this is Lisa. This is the way this is the beat of this. Whitney goes, Lisa says, Whitney has been very consistent in saying you were all together. Heather goes, I know, that's crazy, man. When has she ever talked like that? That was a tell. Then Lisa goes, like, why would she make that up? And then the editors throw in this really funny sound effect, like, what? Like they're looking like a clown, kind of. That was the vibe they were giving it. I didn't do it. The editors did it. And Heather's eyes keep looking like darting off. Like she can't stay focused on Lisa. She keeps looking off when she's answering, which is a sign that you're lying. Lisa says, well, Whitney's right there. We can bring her over. So Whitney comes over and Lisa says, I choose to believe that Whitney heard those things and you were there when that happened. Heather says, but Whitney recanted that. Whitney says, no, I haven't recanted that. Heather says, so what's your story now? Okay. Whitney says, I just think Heather conveniently forgets, or she really has forgotten. Because clearly you don't remember, so either you're not remembering, or it's convenient, or you forgot. And then Heather says, so how do I fix that? Lisa, is that an easy place for you to go? Like when you called me about the audition, you were like, I don't even remember how it ended. And what an interesting flashback. Kind of psycho. Flashback to Heather being like, I don't even remember what we said last time we were together. I know it wasn't pleasant. Whoa. And Whitney was like, why am I here? Last time I saw you, you pushed me out of your house because I defended Lisa, and you still invited me to choir because you told me that you forgot we were in a fight. Same thing. She forgets those things? That's crazy. And Heather goes, because what you were saying didn't land with me as fully sincere. It felt phony and fake. Whitney goes, because I have a friendship with Lisa. Heather's so caught off. She goes, no. And it's like, she didn't have words. She goes, no, be friends. Wonderful. Woo! And then Whitney says, this is the first time that I haven't gone along to get along. I'm just telling you how I feel. I come in here saying, and then Heather goes, okay, don't get along to get along. The awkward space is gone. Hey, it's great. It's gone. And then she walks off. Now you tell me how the hell they convinced this cast to get around and sing a song with that damn piano. They still got around and it God be with you till we meet. I don't even know if this is how the song goes. I just fucking hell. What? Troopers, man. They are troopers. All right. So I had high hopes for Dana. I really did. I still do. But I got to tell you, when she goes over to Meredith's, first they keep savagely cutting to this really sad snack plate. If you remember, up to this point, they had been showing off all the snack plates because they have been on fleek. Is that still a thing? Do people still say that? I don't think I've ever said it until right now. I take that back. But they first there was Whitney's. Whose was the other ones? Was it Jen's? There was another really good one. But they keep showing this sad dry cracker, apple, maybe a piece of cheese plate. Look at this. Look at this sad plate. But so Dana's talking about what she's going to do. And it's I wrote down, Dana gives us a rundown on her day. And oh my God, she is boring. So she's no Angie K, I'll tell you that. Speaking of Angie K, she's over here blowing up floaties for the pool day with Jen. And they're wearing leis and have floaties behind them so that they can FaceTime everyone to invite them to San Diego. And they call Meredith, and Meredith goes, "Look who I have here." And there's Dana. And Jen goes, "And Dana, I would invite you, but I heard you were talking shit, girl. Don't call me a bully because that's not what I do." So obviously she starts immediately bullying behavior, totally. And Dana, "I don't like the way you talk to people, Jen. I don't tolerate that type of stuff." Jen, "Wow, Dana, we're done." And then, of course, she's got to walk off and scream. "I'm not going to sit here and listen to her call me a bully." And Angie K's like, she's just a stranger. She doesn't matter. And then she walks off and Angie's like, "All right, well, aloha to me." It's this is so unnecessary, dude. But it's just we know she's going to come back. We know it's going to be resolved. You don't need to walk off. Who cares if she called you a bully? She's new. She's a friend of. You can just, okay, thanks, Dana. Whatever, But we do get the mid-season trailer. And some highlights were, we have Meredith talking about Lisa's business and saying she crowdsourced for funding, and Lisa being like, "This is no one's business." I'm like, it's absolutely, when you're on reality TV, it is our business, unfortunately. But it's unfortunate that Meredith is whatever. I don't care. Dana is saying, this was from the original trailer. Dana's saying, "Someone close to me was working for Jen, and now he's an informant." What I am a little disappointed in this mid-season trailer is that a good amount of it we did see in the original trailer. And usually you get quite a bit of completely new stuff. So, but then Jen says to Dana, "Check your source." Okay. Whitney and Heather are still fighting, obviously. And then we have a dinner where it's Angie K versus Heather, Lisa versus Heather, and Jen versus Heather. And then they're really milking this black eye thing. They put horror movie music to Heather going into her room. It's security camera footage. So it's Heather going into her room, and then they close up to the door handle from the outside. You can see someone's trying to get in, and then her opening the door. And the next day she's got a black eye. So my official prediction is it was just an after hours shenanigan, drunken mishap. Whoever was trying to get in was someone she wanted to party with, someone fun, not an intruder, but they're milking it for all it's worth. you know? All right. I'm going to wrap up, and I know this is a bit of a short episode, but I've got a very fun recording coming up in a few minutes, and I can't tell you what it is yet, but when it comes out, you'll know, unless, of course, you're listening to this episode after it's already been released, and in that case, you're like, thanks a lot. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for listening. Love you. Mean it. Bye.